Round 9 of the AER Trucks Series heads just south of South Side with Windy City on the horizon. Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler share the first row of competition in this 100-lap shootout. Super Sam 30 says be on the look for the one truck. M. Newton says the 98 is back after a little hiatus. Ferret Fawcett with a first-time chat says evening. Evening, Ferret. Get ready for this one. 100 laps at the 1.5-mile Chicagoland Speedway, and we're about ready to throw the green. Fensler and Bailey on the front row, waiting for that signal. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Tristan Bailey leading the first lap after green. Jason Fensler coming in behind him, trying to do his best to keep that championship close. Fensler getting away with a good start in that 5 truck. On the outside, he's got Sammy Harrell sitting there in that 3rd position. Bailey to the inside. And already 3 trucks starting to pull away from the rest of the competition. Tyler Bellinger, Hagen Joyner running 5th and 6th. Respectively in this race. And Jason Fensler still on the outside, trying to hold on to that first place with a 30.78 seconds, runs the fastest lap of the evening so far. Only 3 laps into this one. Jamie Haynes sitting in 4th with a mirror full of Tyler Bellinger headed into the 3rd corner. We'll see just who's got the fortitude to hold it on the outside. A lot of these trucks caught up in some of this racing almost as if it were a plate track. But we'll see just who holds on. Dylan Picklesmeyer in that 1-2. Moen Menard's Ford now on the inside of Hagen Joyner. 2x2, 2 rows deep, all fighting it out for that 5th position. Tyler Bellinger to the inside. Picklesmeyer trying to hold on to that truck after some rough contact from Bobby Mathis in the 2-9. Sends Picklesmeyer back 1 spot. Picklesmeyer now looking to the inside of Mathis in the 1-2. And further on back, more trucks slicing and dicing. How about this for a throwback with a little bit of the Mark Martin 2000s flavor on that machine? Mike Carter to the inside of Waylon Turner. Carter right now holding on to that 13th position with Turner to his inside. You just saw Don Crone behind him, and then Patrick Jenks just outside the top 15 trying to make moves early on. Still nose to tail for a lot of this race. Tristan Bailey, Jason Fensler, Sammy Harrell running 1, 2, 3. All Chevrolets in the podium positions. Andrew Teft in the 2-1 Thrustmaster F-150. Losing the spot to Keith Bost on the outside in the 42 Quaker State machine. Bost using the momentum on the high side to carry speed down the straight, but we'll see how Teft counteract using the inside line in the 2-1. Let's ride on board with Andrew Teft in the Thrustmaster Ford. Teft on the high side with a 1-9 of Kevin Haas down to the inside. Rounding out that top 20 for the moment is Adam Boughton in the number 94 Mountain Dew kickstart machine, and then Jorge Rincon behind him. Tyler Tyone just on the fringes of the top 21 positions at the front. Tristan Bailey continues to lead. Jason Fensler patiently riding behind the four-time winner this season in 8 races. He's got a hit rate of 50%, and right now the points show that Bailey is starting to run away with this lead. However, it is a playoff-based championship. This will complete 9 rounds of the 16 we're going to have in the regular season, and then 8-race playoff after that. So those drivers that are in blue, those 12 drivers currently into that playoff system for now, but of course, everything could change. And I stand corrected, it is a 15-race regular season that ends August 15th at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and then a 5-race playoff ending at the Phoenix Raceway on September 26. So 10 laps in, points leader Tristan Bailey leading Jason Fensler by just a couple of tenths of a second. But in the standings, it's a 36-point gap from first to second, and then Jason Fensler has a 19-point advantage over Adam Boughton and Hagen Joyner, currently tied for third. Joyner comfortably sitting in the 4th position right now, with Tyler Bellinger just dragging behind. Keith Bost rounding out the top 10 as Michael Carter and Andrew Taft swap positions. Waylon Turner in the number 7-8. That Toyota nose to tail with this Toyota, Patrick Jenks, and then Don Crone just outside of the top 15 has Doug King behind him. The Goodwrench Chevrolet of King moves to the inside of Jenks. This is the move for 15th. Doug King comes into this race outside of the top 12. He finds himself 21st in the point standings right now. 3 markers behind Kevin Haas, who's running 13th. Haas looking to get to the inside of Andrew Teft, who's been on a bit of a downturn. Teft gone down 8 positions since he started this race. Andrew Teft in the point standings, he finds himself 9th, just 1 point behind Charles Mosley. Mosley Jr. not in the starting lineup tonight, so Mosley Jr. is certainly going to lose a lot of points, and with just 6 races to go, his playoff position could very well be in question. Further up the field, Jamie Haynes on the outside of Bob Mathis. Sam Taylor said he would be on the move in that one truck. Found himself in just a spot or 2 of trouble last week at Lucas Oil IRP. Right now, Taylor comfortably holding his spot within the top 10. Bobby Mathis just on the outside, and Mike Carter watching all of this unfold. Let's go on board for a lap or 2 with the driver of the 6 Valvoline Ford. Carter right now on the fringes of that top 10. Bob Mathis ahead of him in that 2-9. Tyler Bellinger in the double 8 has worked his way up to the 5th position, following Hagen Joyner, who seems to be leading the rest of the field. The top 4 in a neat, organized, single-file line from 5th place on back. Tyler Bellinger and Hagen Joyner now battling it out for the position. Jamie Haynes looks on, waiting for one of those trucks to make a move, while Keith Bost in the 42 has to find some room. Bost moves to the inside of Sam Taylor This is for the 8th position, and the 42 edges that one truck out of turn number 4. Further on back, Andrew Teft now in danger of slipping out of the top 15. Andrew Jenks overtaking the 2-1 F-150 for the 14th position. Adam Boughton now within 1 second to Andrew Teft with Doug King behind him. Drivers having to figure out these trucks early on. Eric Kuykendall in that 33 machine is one driver who has yet to figure out his machine. The NWO truck rolls behind Randy Lapidus, who started in the 20th position, and Lapidus finds himself within 1 second to Cornwall, Ontario's Tyler Tyone. At the front, Hagen Joyner on the outside while he watches the leaders start to pull away. It's been the Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler show thus far. Coming into this 9th round, Tristan Bailey has won 4 out of the last 8 races, and he looks to go above 500 with a win today, and he looks to extend his 36-point lead under the horizon of the city of Chicago. But still, so much more racing to go. And if you just recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching the AER Trucks Series from Chicagoland Speedway. Drivers have seemed to settle down after that 2x2 start. Bailey, Fensler, Harrell, your top 3. Special Ed in the chat says, let's go boys, cheering for his favorite drivers tonight. Keith Boston, the 42, trying to run down Kevin Haas, this for the 9th position. Hagen Joyner still staying at the top of this secondary pack. He's gained 5 places so far. One of our hardest chargers, including Tyler Tyone and this driver here, Adam Boughton, who has slowly been tracking down Adam Teft. There you see the difference over the last 5 laps, and Adam Boughton making good headway through the field. He'll overtake Teft for that 15th position, and Andrew Teft now down 12 places from where he started, but possibly Teft on a conservation run. This first green flag window should extend between 30 and 40 laps for truck 21. We'll see which of those 4 sets of tires he decides to use early on. All those sets are identical, obviously. But these drivers do want to make the good years last as long as they can. Taylor in the 1. Now working on Kevin Haas, trying to stay in 8th, while Dylan Picklesmeyer, who's up 3 places, looks to run down Hagen Joyner, who's being overtaken. Tyler Bellinger using a slingshot with the help of Jamie Haynes, making his way into 5th while Haynes moves into 4th. Don Crone's gone off the racetrack, spin down the back straight. We stay green while truck number 4 has a spill. Let's have a look and see what happened to that Spartans Toyota. Crone making contact with the wall, and some help from Randy Lapidus turns the 4 truck around and slam onto the inside wall. Donnie Crone goes for a spill. He's back out onto the racetrack in front of traffic, and there's a big T-bone by the 12 of Dylan Picklesmeyer. Picklesmeyer comically flying through the air, and what in the world is Donovan Crone thinking? He jumps immediately to pits, and Dylan Picklesmeyer left somewhere down on the back straight, and there's the destroyed Moen Ford. Let's see what happened to Don Crone. Crone turns the truck right. He cuts the truck right immediately onto the racing surface, and there goes Picklesmeyer for a big flip. Kevin Haas also involved with that one. And let's have one more look here. Don Crone just goes off the racetrack. And let's run this back one more time here. See if we can find out the... And the 14 of Lapidus just gets right into him. See if we can find how Randy Lapidus just made that contact. And now on board with Don Crone. Have a listen here. Now have a listen. Don Crone is going to try and attempt to maneuver this truck back. Travis Johnson in the chat says, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Johnson commenting on the YouTube side. Thank you, Travis. And Special Ed saying Dylan can't be happy. One more look here just to see if we can get any sort of insight as to what in the world Don Crone might have been thinking. And let's have a look from the rear chase. And you can see the hands in that Ford truck now. I believe. There the wheels cut to the left just as the field's advancing. And, well, that is for you, the fan, to make the judgment call. Dylan Picklesmeyer, an innocent bystander in that one, as is Kevin Haas in the 19 truck. Kevin sits in 5th right now, safe and sound. Kevin must have used one of those fast repairs. And the Indianapolis native keeps his top 5 position. Tristan Bailey leads the race with Jason Fensler right behind him. Let's see if we can bother the Mississippi driver for a quick word. Tristan Bailey, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy. Tristan, it's been an all-right race so far for you. You lead with a 500 batting average coming into today's race. What is there to lose with this 36-point gap here?
Not the right out. We'll be fine.
Jason Fensler sitting behind you and Jamie Haynes sitting in 3rd. It looks like these trucks can go quite the distance. Everybody here pitting on lap 25. We're going between 30 and 40 laps on a pit window. Does this look like a one-stop race for you if it goes green?
Actually, no. It looks like you're going to end up doing it twice, probably, because of, if you want to go 30 from here, puts you about 58. If you do 40, put you at 60. Yeah, you still got to... it'd be real close. I'll give you that. It's going to be real close.
We'll see where the math plays out from here. You're going for your 5th win in 9 starts. You're looking in the mirror, obviously trying to defend that first place. Who's going to be the toughest challenge as far as getting to victory lane?
All it comes down to if we had that last second caution or nothing. But honestly, it just depends on who's behind you and drafting, who's going to try to take it in deep without you noticing or something like that. But other than that, it's really going to be whoever can keep the car or truck, sorry, be able to keep it as smooth as on the bottom and the corners. Now I got a little tight towards the end of that run because I was pushing a little too hard, but I think I'll fix that this run.
Fans are cheering for you back in Carrier, Mississippi, buddy. Keep the shiny side up, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
All right, thank you, Rick.
And the Mississippi native going to have control of the field when we restart this race. Bailey on the inside, Fensler on the outside. Jamie Haynes, Sammy Harrell in row number 2. Kevin Haas, Keith Bost sitting in that 3rd row. Roberto Mathis on the inside of Michael Carter in row number 4. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Adam Boughton on the outside, Sam Taylor on the inside. And it looks like we're ready to go green once again. Tristan Bailey with control of the field, waiting for that signal. There's the flag. Green is out. Bailey, Haynes, Fensler, your top 3. Looking back through the rest of the field. Boths, Haas, Mathis, Carter, everybody trying to find their way up into the top 10. And Adam Boughton, I'm sorry, I almost called him Andrew and Michael Boughton. It's not true. Adam Boughton sitting in that 11th position on the outside row, trying to find some way to squeeze in. You can see trucks shifting down that front straight, everybody trying to find just a little bit of room, a little bit of peace out on the racetrack. 2x2, 4 rows deep out of that second corner. Further on back, it's not any easier. Boise, Idaho's Chris Fathke in that 2.7 finds himself sandwiched between the 98 of Mike Newton. Randy Lapidus in that 14 sits just ahead of Eric Kuykendall on the fringes of the top 20. And Dylan Picklesmeyer has repaired that truck. He's in 23rd out of 24 trucks in this race. Donovan Crone being scored out. We'll see where Dill Pickle can make up the time. As for the leaders, Tristan Bailey finds no respite. Jamie Haynes, Jason Fensler sitting second and third. And further on back, you can see just that hornet's nest. To quote Repeat 1975, everybody just trying to find their own racing room. Boss to the inside of Sammy Harrell. This is the move for fourth. Coming into this race, Keith Bost sits outside of the top 12. He sits outside of the top 25. He's 26th right now, just one marker behind Randy Lapidus. I'm sorry, Neil Lapidus. Young Neil Lapidus not in today's starting roster, so if Keith can keep up that momentum, keep up this top 10 run, he's going to be looking at a great points day tonight. Special Ed 983 said, those aren't the guys you want to see in your mirror. Tristan Bailey managing it just fine for now. Here's a look back towards Jamie Haynes. "35 laps into this one. It's Chevys all the way down until you get to 7th, where Michael Carter sits in front of Bob Mathis in the 2.9 H&M Motorsports machine. Pennsylvania's Patrick Jenks has worked his way into the top 9. Then Waylon Turner and Sam Taylor trying to go at it for that top 10 spot, while Doug King watches, hoping those two don't collide in front of him. Hagen Joyner, who was once in the top 5, sitting back in 15th. Every single truck pitting on that last yellow on lap 25, including Tyler Tyone, who's up 7 places from where he started. The Ontario pilot works his way to the inside of Andrew Teft, who in this first third of the race has had a less than agreeable experience. Teft down 13 places since the green flag flew. Idaho's Chris Fathke next behind Teft. But look who's coming. It is Dylan Picklesmeyer sitting in that 23rd position. Despite being a couple of laps off the pace, Picklesmeyer got his truck repaired and possibly just waiting for another opportune yellow flag. Master Killer says, wow, Patrick is racing. And Jenks, not only is he racing, he's sitting comfortably inside the top 10. Let's watch out of the cockpit from Patrick Jenks and look at the battle for 7th. Jenks still holding in 9th, up 7 places from where he started. At the front, Tristan Bailey looking at Jamie Haynes behind him. Talking to most of these drivers before the race, they agreed that it's going to be a race of patience, and given the drafting that takes place at this racetrack, nobody is safe for those first 90 or so laps in this race. Jamie Haynes, second so far, trying to get to the inside of Tristan Bailey. Haynes comes into tonight's race looking for a boost in the points. Haynes sits 10th at the moment, finds himself just 8 points behind Andrew Teft, who's sliding backwards in the first half so far. Haynes on the outside of Elk Grove's Jason Fensler, side by side now for that second position. This is what Bailey wants to see in the rear view mirror. Special Ed says good, because last race was all the cautions. Talking about round number 8 at Lucas Oil IRP, it was a caution-filled affair, no doubt. This seems to be the exact opposite, just one yellow flag in 42 laps of competition as Bama Trama joins the house. Mama Vols, the #1 fan on Rick James TV. Love you, Mama. Send my love to the family down in the Volunteer State. You had a vacation recently, Mama. I hope all went well. Glad that you're doing all right. Mike Carter up 8 places from where he started. This Valvoline Ford making good progress. Now up behind the 42 of Keith Bost. Further on back, Andrew Teft has gotten a hold of that slide. Now back in the top 15, working on the inside of Adam Boughton for the 14th position. Teft could be a dark horse. We're not used to seeing Andrew do an electric slide to the back of the field, but he's holding his own and looks like he's just keeping those tires up to optimum temperature. And at the back of the club, sipping Moet, Michael Newton in the 20th position, working on Randy Lapidus for a spot in that top 19, possibly some more coming from this driver in the 98 Toyota Tundra. Tristan Bailey now side by side with Jason Fensler. This the fight for the lead. California versus Mississippi into that first corner. 45 laps now underway from the Chicagoland Speedway. Tristan Bailey looking to hold on to that outside line while Fensler comes right up the inside. Will Jason be able to make it stick? Is Fensler forcing Bailey to use those tires? True SR with a first-time chat says, let's go Jenks and Turner, cheering for Patrick Jenks, who's still in the 9th position, and his teammate Waylon Turner, who's now behind that 38. Let's ride along on the quarter panel of Jenks and see what the view looks like. The Texan working on his Pennsylvania teammate for the 8th position. Both trucks getting around Adam Boughton, who slipped back to 17th. You can see there's substantial damage on the right-hand side of that 94 Mountain Dew Tundra. Chris Fathke working to the inside on Robert Matisse. This for the 15th position. And Fathke, the Idaho native, also looking to have a great points race. We're just about halfway into this race. Chris Fathke, 10 points behind Waylon Turner, who sits just ahead, and you can see Fathke is on the outside looking in. Chris Fathke needs to be within that top 12 6 races from now to make the playoffs. At the front, however, Jason Fensler looking to take the lead away from Tristan Bailey. Fensler with 2 races, 1 to Bailey's 4, and 37 points between these two drivers. You can see Fensler relents, gives Bailey the position, and out of the second corner, Tristan Bailey leads Jason Fensler by 1/3 of a second, and now Jamie Haynes wants a piece of the Californian in that 5 truck. If you tuned in recently, I'm Rick James. You're watching the AER Trucks Series. from Chicagoland Speedway. Jason Fensler sitting in second, chasing down Tristan Bailey, and he had one good crack at the lead. We'll see if he can duplicate this again. Fensler now leaving Haynes in the dust while Jamie Haynes watches Sam Harrell behind him. Harrell in that 43, chasing down the 5-3 of Haynes, and you can see the top 5 now includes Kevin Haas in the number 19 Budweiser Chevrolet. Further on back, they're sitting 2x2. Keith Bost, Michael Carter, Waylon Turner, now all in that top 8. Turner gets around his teammate Jenks, and Sam Taylor, who's got a long run truck, now coming to the inside of that 38 machine. Here comes Taylor in the Bass Pro Tracker Boats Chevrolet to the inside of Jenks, but he just can't quite get the advantage into that corner. Sam Taylor still in the 10th position. Andrew Teff now working on the high side of Chris Fathke, while Tyler Tyone looks to go to the outside of the 2-9 of Robert Mathis. Let's ride along with Tyone. Tyone doing his best to get into the top 16. Adam Boughton is on his way into pit road, but not the way he wants to come down pit road. Boughton coming with a head full of steam, and the driver of the 94 nearly comes in way too quick, but he's going to come down pit road and get that damage repaired. Have a look. Just losing control, and Boughton will gently roll his way into pit road after making that hard left that's surely damaged his truck. At the front, Tristan Bailey back at it again, playing defense against Jason Fensler. These two not leaving each other alone, and Kevin Haas wants a piece of Sammy Harrell. This is the battle for 4th. Jenks in 9th, chasing down Waylon Turner, while Michael Carter sits just a third of a second ahead of them. Doug King also making headway. Is that Rincon on his way down pit road? And it is. Jorge Rincon in the 2-8 decides to come down, and the Agua Dulce native coming for tires and fuel. He last pitted on lap 25. It's been about 30 laps of green flag racing, and that tells you that the pit window has indeed been opened. We'll see which one of these pilots decides to come down first. The 5 of Fensler on the inside of Tristan Bailey. This for the lead, but again, Fensler just can't make that stick on the high side. And possibly Jason Fensler just trying to make Bailey work those tires a little bit harder. Bailey, Fensler, Haynes, still your top 3. Chevrolets all the way down to that 6th position. Keith Bost watches Michael Carter get closer still. And there's your battle for that 6th position, with Carter a third of a second behind Bost. Will Bost crumble under that pressure? Over the last 5 laps, he's seen Michael Carter start to inch forward. But again, the tires are going to be a factor as drivers push their resources, their fuel, their tires further by each lap. It's been 33 circuits since they last came in. Here comes Keith Bost on his way down pit road, trying to get that woe down to an appropriate speed, and he does Oh, he comes in at 48 miles an hour, but it looks like the speed limit's possibly 55. Boss now going up to 59, 60 miles an hour, so it looks like Keith coming in quite conservatively, but hey, he's not going to get that speeding penalty. Bost is in. Bailey leading Fensler by 0.3 of a second, now 0.4 out of that fourth corner. 2.5, 5, 5, 3. Your top three, 60 laps underway in Chicagoland. And now welcome this pit road exodus. Drivers have decided to come down pit lane, get that repair, get those tires, and all that fuel. Sam Harrell in that 43 truck will come down to a halt. Hagen Joyner is also in. Michael Newton decides to bring his 98. Special Ed says Doug in the top 10. And under this pit stop cycle, Douglas King has made it into that first Fast 10, comes down at a high rate of speed, crosses that entrance at 44 miles an hour, and he makes it down pit lane. Dougie King coming for tires and fuel, but which one of the leaders will crack first? Tristan Bailey, Jason Fensler, Jamie Haynes inside the final 40 laps of action, looking to make magic in the Chicago horizon, and both leaders are in. Here comes Bailey, here comes Fensler coming in at a high rate of speed. Jamie Haynes inherits the lead in the 5-3. The Virginian is your new leader with Kevin Haas in that second position. Patrick Jenks sitting in third. Samuel Taylor up into fourth. And Idaho's Chris Fathke rounding out the top five in that 2-7. Lots of trucks leaving pit lane, getting those repairs, getting those tires, getting that fuel. There's Tristan Bailey on the right side of your frame. Right sides are down. Left sides now up on the 2-5. Here comes the 98 of Mike Newton. There's Tristan Bailey, he's out. There's the 5 of Jason Fensler, also out of pit road, and they've made their way through. Jamie Haynes is now in. Kevin Haas, Patrick Jenks, and Chris Fathke, as you can see on the left-hand side, all down pit road, and that's going to make Samuel L. Taylor your new leader with just over 35 laps remaining. You can hear Taylor decelerating. He does not want to slip this truck before he makes it on his way down pit road. Look at the speed coming down. Taylor decelerating, slides into pit road. Did he crash? He did make contact on the left-hand side there, and Adam Taylor will have much more damage to repair than he thought. Taylor in pit road, but now with a wounded race truck. Tristan Bailey now coming out of that fourth corner. There you can see the immense difference in speed. Bailey re-inherits that first place. Sammy Harrell sitting in second, but where is Jason Fensler? There he is in third, 1.5 seconds behind race leader Tristan Bailey. And on fuel, these trucks should be good to go to the end if a yellow flag comes out. But of course, a late race caution inside the final 20 laps could throw all of this strategy right out the window. Keith Bost sitting in 7th. He goes to the inside of Jorge Rincon. Bost up 4 places, Rincon up 10 places from where he started. The 2-8 Goodwrench machine to the inside of Bost, still battling hard for 7th. Bost with a bit of a wiggle, but he keeps his truck pointing in that right direction. Dougie King on the fringes of the top 10. He's chasing down Michael Carter for a spot in that 10th position. Let's ride along with King. Waylon Turner on the outside of Sam Taylor. This not for the position, though. Taylor finds himself in 18th. This second truck, 1 lap down. Andrew Teft qualified in 4th. He's down to 17th right now. Teft, the first truck, a lap down and in that lucky dog position. It has not been the nicest of races for Teft, but still, more than 30 laps to go and plenty of time for the driver of the 2-1 to turn his fortune around. Jason Fensler looking to turn his season around before Tristan Bailey runs away with the regular season title. Jamie Haynes now behind the Californian in the 5, and the Stewart Virginian in that 5-3 Advanced Silverado looking to get another podium finish this season. Haynes winless this year with an average finish of 12th. He finds himself just 8 points behind Andrew Taft, and he finds himself just 9 points. That's right, 9 points behind Charles Mosley Jr., who's not in this starting lineup today. Tyler Bellinger has an advantage of just 13 points over Jamie Haynes, who sits in that 10th position. Bellinger finds himself 22nd down pit road. It's been a disastrous afternoon for Bellinger. Meanwhile, Tristan Bailey leading by 2.4 seconds in his number 25 ChevyGoods.com Silverado, the points leader with 4 wins coming into this 9th race, going for 5 wins in 9 starts, running away with this lead. But what good will it do him? Kevin Haas, on the other hand, trying to hold off Jamie Haynes, or trying to get around Jamie Haynes, I should say, who's just ahead of the Indianapolis native. Further on back, Waylon Turner's position being improved, getting around Jorge Rincon, that for the 8th spot. Turner up 4 places from where he started. Turner sits 14th in the points right now, just 5 markers out of the playoffs with 6 races to go. After the checkered flag flies tonight, and we'll see just who gets into those playoffs 6 weeks from now. But until then, just so much more racing to enjoy in the AER Trucks Series. Tonight, June 27, we're in Chicagoland. Next week, we take that Monday night off for the holiday. We're back in 2 weeks from the Darlington Raceway. That'll be 100 laps on July 11th. 3 weeks from now, we're at Pocono, Richmond, Texas, Milwaukee, and then again the regular season ends at Canadian Tire August 15. That will be an unbelievable finish, and we'll see what 12 drivers make it into the 5-race playoffs. We're just outside the top. We're outside the last 25, looking at the end of the top 3. Jason Fensler, 2.4 seconds behind Sammy Harrell, who's 3 seconds behind Jason Fensler. And over those last 5 laps, there you can see Fensler now starting to gain time on Harrell, but how much longer will that last? On lap 73, Jason Fensler almost half a tenth slower than Sammy Harrell. And there you can see, compared to race leader Tristan Bailey, that 2.5 truck is only getting faster, and he's running away with this regular season championship. A 36-point gap headed into this 9th race, where he looks to get his 5th win. But will the caution slow him down? Randy Lapidus in the 1-4, Tyler Bellinger in the 8-8, both involved in the 2nd caution tonight on lap 75. And the yellow flies once again. Let's see what happened to Lapidus. Just the 8-8 of Bellinger comes down on the quarter panel of Lapidus. Both trucks go for a massive slide. Lapidus took a big hit there. Let's ride along with Randy. You can see the sparks coming off the 8-8. Lapidus comes to a halt. Let's see how Tyler Bellinger went. Oh, this is far earlier here. You can see Bellinger was just trying to recover that race truck. He wasn't recovering anything at that point. Both trucks, however, did keep it off the wall despite that heavy slam. So the second caution flies, and this enters everybody down pit lane. Just about everybody decides to come down pit road. So while these drivers take a break, we're going to do the same, and we're going to get ready to bring you the restart for the final 23 or 22 laps. We'll see what it is from Chicagoland Speedway. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just 90 seconds with more racing and what could very well be the final restart from Chicagoland. Back with the trucks at iRacing's Chicagoland Speedway. Let's see if we can bother one Sam Harrell for a quick word. Samuel Harrell, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
Sammy, you're sitting in second right now. It's looking like a fantastic finish for you if you can stay glued to the back end of Tristan Bailey, but you can't forget you've got the Californian Jason Fensler behind you. What's your strategy for the final 22 laps of racing?
I'll be honest with you. I'm just gonna ride their coattails until the last 2 to 3 laps.
And if another caution comes out, are you diving for tires and fuel?
I'm diving for tires, no fuel.
Tires, no fuel. Well, keep the shiny side up, Sam. You got a lot of fans rooting for you back there in Sumter. Besides Tristan Bailey, who's going to be the toughest challenge to get the win tonight?
Jason and Jamie Haynes for sure.
Keep the shiny side up, buddy. Best of luck.
We got it. All right. Bye.
So we're going to let the South Carolinian get to work. This is going to be an exciting restart. 22 laps to go from iRacing's 1.5 mile Chicagoland Speedway. Tristan Bailey with control of the field. Sam Harrell to his inside. There you see the restart zone to your right. Jason Fensler, Kevin Haas in row number 2. Drivers wait for that signal. Bailey with control. Harrell to the inside, waiting for the flag. There's the jump. There's the flag. Let's go racing. Off that fourth corner, Tristan Bailey will lead the first lap after restart. There you see all the way down to the inside, Jorge Rincon in the 2.8, maximizing, or should I say, minimizing the length of the racetrack with Keith Bost behind him in 8th. Michael Carter and Waylon Turner currently rounding out that top 10. 20 laps to go next time by. Doug King moves to the inside. Special Ed says, man, Bailey's so strong on the restart, but look at Fensler, who sends it in deep on the Mississippi native. Jason Fensler looks to claw back some of that points gap that Bailey has set coming into round 9. 2-0 to go, and Fensler just goes purple. 30.65 seconds. It is the fastest time tonight. Bailey on the outside won't be denied the lead. Drag race for first, and it's 1-9 at the line. Fensler holding strong. Bailey top side. Harrell watching with bated breath. Hagen Joyner and Sammy Harrell also in the distance. Advantage Fensler. But will they stay this way for 19 more laps? Certainly, they couldn't. Here comes Harrell in that 4-3, looking at Fensler in the middle. Will he go 3 wide? No. Fensler trying to hold on to that slight advantage. Watch Bailey on the top side use the momentum and the speed to get around Fensler. And could they be practicing for a drag race at the line? That time around, Jason Fensler led the lap. And this is how close those drivers are. 4 100ths. Now a dead heat going into 3. Fensler leading that lap by 1 100th of a second, extending it a bit further. There you can see just thousandths, literally thousandths of a second between these two pilots. Tyler Bellinger jumps to pits immediately. And fans of the 88 seeing him slide down through those point standings ever still. Bellinger with a chance to win it a couple of weeks ago. The opportunity just slipped away from him, and 2 weeks in a row, it's going to be heartbreak for the driver coming into this race. 7th in the points standings. Bellinger with a win this season. Charlie Mosley not in the lineup tonight. Andrew Tepp having troubles tonight. Jamie Haynes doing well. Dylan Pigglesmeyer trying to redeem himself, but he's still just inside that top 20 with 1-5 to go on the scoreboard. It's still side by side between Jason Fensler and Tristan Bailey. And if your friends are fans of racing, tell them to get in here, because this is going to be an incredible finish to round 9. Contact between the two. Bailey's in the wall. Fensler slow on the inside line. Fensler has had it. Jason Fensler to the inside. Lets off the throttle. Lets everybody around him. Sammy Harrell inherits the lead at a turn number 4. 14 laps to go, and new leader is Sumter, South Carolina's Samuel Harrell. Big developments there. Let's see what exactly happened there. Harrell trying to hold to the inside while Bailey holds steadfast on the outside. Can Harrell make this fight for the lead stick? It's lucky number 13 laps to go. There goes Kevin Haas looking to make it 3 wide to the inside. He's got the advantage on Bailey, sending the 2-5 up the racetrack, but doesn't go any further. Harrell now the undisputed leader. Bailey, no doubt, mounting a charge to get that win back. Let's see if we can find out just exactly what happened between Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler. This is a couple of laps prior, and just so hard to tell between Tristan Bailey and Jason Fensler that time around. Back to live pictures. Sammy Harrell now has Tristan Bailey behind him. Again, you saw contact between the two. Jason Fensler looked like he let off the throttle and let the field just go ahead of him. Headed into turn 3, Fensler possibly saving himself from a heavier accident, and Fensler outside of the top 5, looking to make the gap back. Sammy Harrell leading with 11 laps to go as Kevin Haas now fills in the gap beneath Tristan Bailey. It will be 1-0 to go next time by, and Sumter's Sam Harrell has control of the field, watching his competitors spread out behind him. Bailey shoots high, and he's into the wall. Tristan Bailey, does he make contact with that wall? There's Jason Fensler right behind him, and it doesn't look like Bailey may have made too much contact with that outside wall, but he did let off the throttle enough for Jason Fensler to get to the inside with 10 laps to go. Bailey, will he pull the crossover down the back straight? No, but Hagen Joyner just might. The driver of that Blueberry Alani Chevrolet now makes his way into the 6th position, watching the points leader and second place in the championship swap places with 9 laps remaining. 4-3, 1-9, 5-3. Neither Tristan Bailey nor Jason Fensler in the podium positions with 9 laps to go. And there's not a person here who could have predicted this outcome. But will it stay this way? Harrell, Haas, Haynes, your top 3. 8 laps remain. Chevrolet's all the way down to 8th. Michael Carter, once again the highest ranked non-Chevrolet. The Valvoline F-150 sitting in 9th. Waylon Turner in 10th. And Adam Boughton, who suffered heavy damage on a botched entry to pit lane just on the fringes of that top 10. Sam Harrell with Kevin Haas behind him. The South Carolinian leading the Indiana driver with the Virginian sitting in 3rd. It'll be 6 to go next time by. Jason Fensler pulls out to a half-second gap ahead of Tristan Bailey, and this race is so far from over. Keith Bost on the outside of Michael Carter. This is the move for 9th. Sammy Harrell still leading. There you see on the bottom of your frame, Jason Fensler trying to make a move to the inside. Fensler so close to the leader now. Will he get a 3rd win? Will anybody be able to stop Tristan Bailey's incredible run? He's won half the races completed this season. Bailey still in the top 5, still well within a chance to win this race. And we were talking to drivers earlier, and we said realistically, those first 95 laps, you're just riding around waiting for your opportunity. Well, now it's 5 laps to go. The final 12.5 miles of this contest. Truck 43, the admin box Chevrolet, Sam Harrell comes into this race lamenting in the points. He sits in 16th, not even on this chart. 3 markers behind Chris Fathke, 13 markers behind Waylon Turner, winless with an average finish of 17th. Will Sam Harrell hold on for another 4 circuits? Kevin Haas, the Indianapolis driver, he comes into this race further behind than Harrell. Haas sits 20th in the points, 11 points behind Michael Carter. Jamie Haynes to the inside of Kevin Haas, and the Stewart Virginian sitting 10th in the standings headed into round 9, looking to make up all those points and challenge Harrell for the win. 3 circuits remain. 2.5 laps to go for Sam Harrell. Kevin Haas side by side with Jamie Haynes while Jason Fensler watches, and don't you dare count out Tristan Bailey. Haynes to the inside of Haas. Will he make it stick out of turn number 4? Side by side with California's Jason Fensler, hoping for an opportunity. Fensler to the inside of Haas. Will they go 3 wide into 1? No. Less than 3 miles remain, and this is everything that Sam Harrell wants to see in his mirror. Adam Boughton, Michael Carter side by side. Kevin Haas on the outside of Jason Fensler and Jamie Haynes now. 0.7 of a second is the gap between Sam Harrell and Jamie Haynes. 1.5 miles to go from Chicagoland. Fensler in third, looking to overtake Haynes while Tristan Bailey slides Kevin Haas up the racetrack. Contact between the two. Haas now being kicked out of fourth position. Bailey to the inside. Here comes Jamie Haynes, now ahead of Jason Fensler. Sammy Harrell with 2 more corners, and the long shot, the dark horse in round number 9 picks up win number 1. It's Sam Harrell at Chicago. Jamie Haynes beating Jason Fensler to the line by 0.05 of a second. Jason Fensler in third. Points leader Tristan Bailey finishes fourth. Kevin Haas coming home in fifth. Hagen Joyner in sixth. Jorge Rincon in seventh. Waylon Turner eighth. Adam Boughton, our hardest charger, gaining 14 places since the green flag flew, will finish in ninth. Michael Carter will round out your top 10. And Samuel Harrell gets the job done in Chicagoland. Jamie Haynes, Tristan Bailey also there. Sam will burn the house down in celebration. He has earned a very hard-fought victory, and the South Carolinian gets the job done. Special Ed saying this was so much cleaner of a race compared to 2 weeks ago at IRP, and he's so right, and what a show that was. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have podium interviews in just a moment. Jason Fensler, Jamie Haynes will join our race winner, Sam Harrell. We'll be with you in just a moment. On the podium now with our top 3, starting with our second place finisher, driver of the 5-3 Advance Auto Chevrolet, Jamie Haynes. You started this race in 5th, and you end up with a silver medal tonight. a little bit of luck went your way, but you were there when it mattered. Congratulations on second. Did you think that was a possibility?
Possibility, yeah. Just honestly happy that it happened because so far in the truck series, I've had a rough season so far. So I'll take a second for sure.
2 weeks from now, we head to the Lady in Black, Darlington. Obviously, you're going to look for another podium position, but you've elevated yourself into 6th in the standings with 5 races to go before the playoffs. Certainly, you've got to have a little bit of confidence headed into Darlington.
Oh yeah, I loved Darlington. I can't wait to go there. So for sure, I'm excited about going there.
Congratulations on that second position. Now talking to our race winner, one Sumter, South Carolinian, Sam Harrell in the admin box 43. Way to get the job done. You started in the 3rd position. Fantastic qualifying run. But what were your thoughts knowing you're going up against Jason Fensler and Tristan Bailey for the win?
Well, I knew all night that I was a top 5 car easily. Jamie Haynes, Jason Fensler, and Tristan, they're so much more versed at this than I am. And I was really just going to ride their coattails and try to save some tires because they're a lot better at that than I am. And so I've been watching them, and they make me better. But I knew that Tristan and Jason were going to race hard, and I was just sitting, waiting on their mistakes, and that's what happened. So I actually, and then I think Kevin Haas and Jamie got to racing real hard, so it allowed me to pull away at the end there.
Not only did you score your first W of the season, but 2 weeks from now when you hit Darlington, your 14th place position in the point standings is only 2 points out of the playoffs positions and 3 points outside of the top 10 where Charles Mosley and Sam Taylor sit tied. Your home track, Sammy. Is it possible we'll see you go 2 wins in a row?
That would be a negative. I'm going to have to get some tips from Jamie since he loves that track.
And that's where the confidence ends. But take this win tonight. Celebrate it. You've earned it, my friend. Congratulations on the dub.
Thank you. Great job. Good job, Jamie.
That's going to do it for our top 2 tonight. Our man Jason Fensler with a broken mic, so he can't communicate. But Jason had a fantastic run getting into 3rd as well. We won't be back for 2 weeks for the Truck Series, but this upcoming Thursday, we take the ARCA cars to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Thursday Night Thunder Series races round 2 from the Diamond in that Nevada desert. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all